Hey, what's going on, everybody? As always, thank you for joining me, Matt, the Watty's channel. Today we are continuing on with the Neca Toony Terror review videos, and in fact, this is going to be the last video. So far we've looked at Neca Toony Terror series 1 through 9. In the last video, we looked at a bunch of other figures that were part of the Toony Terror line, but they weren't reflective on the checklist for the first 9 series. So I showed those off all individually. This video is going to close out the Toony Terrors based on what I have currently available. There is one figure or one box set we're going to be looking at. The very first box set I know for a fact was actually part of Series 7. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get this in until the day after I filmed that video, so I decided to hold off on this one until this particular video, and that way we could look at all of the box sets together, all the different dual packages. Again, excuse me. Oh man, my throat's killing me. Today we're going to look at some dual picks, some triple picks. We're also going to look at picks that have individual figures, but they got some kind of like awesome accessory to go with it to complete the whole playset or whatever you want, however you want to describe it. Anyways, first set we're going to look at is probably one of my absolute favorites from this particular line. It's definitely one of my favorite sets as a total package. From Series 7, we got Slim and Chubby from the Killer Clowns of Outer Space. Killer Clowns in Outer Space. Nope, it is from outer space. Man, these guys look creepy as heck. I love it. So, when I talk about 1980s movies, now let's talk about 1980s horror movies. Everyone's going to say 1984's A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1987's Hellraiser. Yeah, those are going to be awesome freaking movies. You know, those are like movies that change your life type of deal. But what about the other lower budget movies that really had an impact on your life? How about The Gate? The Gate, to me, is one of the greatest freaking horror movies ever. I watched that movie a couple years ago, maybe last year for the first time, in I don't know how many years, probably decades even. That movie still held up. It was still that good. Killer Clowns in Outer Space. It's a movie I've seen a ton when I was a kid. Probably haven't seen it in years, possibly decades. And I just watched this probably within the last year. I don't remember when. 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 4 months ago. I don't know. But maybe it's because it was a movie I knew I always enjoyed, and I couldn't look at it as a bad movie. Well, that's not fair. That's not a fair assessment because I finally got my wife to watch Hellraiser with me some time ago, and she hated the movie. She thought it was completely stupid. And I watched the movie, the first Hellraiser, and I'm like, I can't even argue with you because it really didn't hold water the same way that some of these other movies have. I mean, I knew I've always loved Hellraiser. It's always been a huge, fan favorite and definitely one of my favorite slashers of all time. But maybe as an adult, maybe because I've seen it so many times and I built it up so much from childhood that I was expecting more as an adult. But then, recently I rewatched Part 2, and shoot, Part 2 was still killer. So, the Killer Clowns of Outer Space, it's a movie that you call cheesy good. It's another one of those B movies, not a high budget theatrical release, but it was just such a fun movie, such an enjoyable movie for a kid. I mean, if I had kids, yeah, I would have them watch this movie at some point in their lives. Maybe 4 or 5 years old, I don't know. It depends on what they're watching. I don't think I would ever raise my kids on, like, Sesame Street. I just don't think that's me. But Killer Clowns of Outer Space, great horror. These figures are brilliant. Alright, I am dying to get this package with individual figures that I can display in front, because now these, they actually display pretty well. These aren't so bad, but we're gonna look at a couple box sets that the packaging isn't the brightest, so you're really not able to make out the figures that well. But overall, I think Neca did an absolutely phenomenal version, both on the figures as well as the actual design of the package. This is why it's so much fun to be a mint on card collector. The packaging is just as important as the actual item itself. You know, great detail here to Chubby, right? You know, Slim looks absolutely amazing. You got that little ray gun in there. Donut. Who the hell had a donut? Outside of the police. Oh man, I didn't even notice that. That little face in the cotton candy cocoon. You know, in the one version where they're on the ship and Chubby comes down and he starts tapping them like he's testing fruit or something. And then he got that big circular, what do they call it, silly straw. And he starts drinking it. Oh man, that's memories, man. I love it. And I talked about the popcorn. You know, they throw popcorn in like the laundry basket or inside the dumpster, and then you got these little snake monsters come out, and oh man, just, if you haven't seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space, get on Tubi. I'm pretty sure it's there. Tubi is free. You know, you don't need an account like Netflix or anything. That is a fun movie. I recommend to anybody. I don't care your age. You could be 10 years old. You could be 30 years old. You could be 80 years old. It's just a fun movie. I like it a lot, and maybe it wouldn't appeal to someone who was born in 2000s, 2005, 2009, something like that. But I think it's a superior movie for a B movie. Yeah, I think it's definitely a superior movie to most. Now this right here was an absolute killer, and when I talk about wanting to have loose figures displayed, this is one of those packages I kind of want to take out of the package. An American Werewolf in London. So for the longest time ever, American Werewolf in London was my favorite werewolf movie. And then eventually, Dog Soldiers kind of replaced it at the number 1 seed. But still number 2, followed very closely by Howling. And I'm just kind of noticing the back of these boxes. They are identical, almost. I mean, obviously you got a few changes, but this right here is the Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and then this is American Werewolf. In the background, they just kind of change out the photo of what the item actually features. I didn't notice that the first time around. But you got the, what do they call him, the Kessler Wolf? Thought I saw the name on here somewhere. Here it is. So, you got Jack Goodman and Kessler Wolf. David Kessler, obviously played by David Naughton, did an absolute brilliant job. I always say, and I will always say, that David Naughton's portrayal in this movie was beyond brilliant. His acting skills when he's in transformation into a werewolf, you look at so many other werewolves, they just transform like it's nothing. You can feel and see the pain and terror in his eyes with the sweating and the look that he gives you. You can feel every ounce of the pain that he suffered during that transformation. No other actor will ever give you as brilliant of a transformation as that. In the TV series Being Human, whether you like the US version or the original UK version, either TV series is fantastic. The British actor is kind of whiny in his transformation scenes. The way that he kind of screams, like, very feminine-like, but still, you can really feel the pain in his voice as well. So, I mean, he does an adequate job with his transformation. But David Naughton portrayal of this character was fantastic. And That wolf, like I said, I just want that wolf loose. It just looks so killer. And with the zombie ghost Jack, amazing. I wonder if I can open this up without damaging the package, because I want to give you guys a more... Yeah, I don't want to open that. I mean, even if all you're doing is popping the tape, to me that's enough, because, yeah, people are out there that are actually... I've actually had people fuss to me because the the little circular half circle tape on the box was cut. So maybe I buy an item, right, and I buy it mint uncard, and not realizing that I already had that figure mint uncard. So I end up reselling it as mint uncard, or new in package, whatever. And then I'll send it to them, and they'll be looking for this little sticker on the top. Oh, it's been opened, it's been used. I'm like, no, look at the package. You can tell it's never been opened. Or at least never used in any official capacity, right? But, so I feel like breaking that seal right now would depreciate the value by like 10% at least. And this box set's pretty expensive. They're all pretty expensive, these box sets. Alright, American Werewolf in London. And as described in my last video, one of the greatest, if not the single greatest movie franchise of all time is Saw. Now, Jigsaw in here is just an individual character that I've talked about, but why is it a box set? Because you come with all of these added additional accessories to include his little clown design. And again, just like Jack and the werewolf, this is another one of those figures that I 100% want to take out of the package, because I want to have Tobin Bell's character, and I want to have the little puppet on the tricycle. I want to display them, as loose individual characters, or loose individual figures. I know I'm not going to do it, but that's why I kind of like, I have to find these as a bundle. If I got like all of these bundles, all these figures as loose figures in a bundle, and it cost me like $150, $200, I would jump on that immediately. But I don't want to buy this loose and have to pay $50 for it, And again, the back of the box sets, they pretty much stay the exact same. They change out, obviously, the character here and make a little bit of an upgrade in the dumpster area, but... Alright. Ooh, I like that. That little head mask device that they use a lot. And in the first movie, when the guys are chained to the pipes. So this one said $40 on this, but I don't think I paid $40. I think I paid a lot more than that. I could be wrong. But Billy the Puppet. I knew that freaking doll had a name. I couldn't remember what it was, though. But Jigsaw and Billy the Puppet. So maybe you do consider Billy to be a second character, I guess. So it is more than just one piece. Alright, I like the fact that that little metal mask that he attaches, and someone's got to find the key and open it up before it eats their face or whatever. That's in here, and I don't know if that's like a knife or what that is. Right here, there's some kind of tool. But again, they stick with the mask and another little head robe, kind of like in the single piece for Jigsaw. So another awesome addition to the line. They really knocked it out of the park with these box sets. Alright, so this is a very small package. You kind of see the back again. Even small packages kind of keep the same background. But we've got Elvira. And this is what I'm talking about. Elvira, and it's not a second character that makes this a set. It's the couch. The couch accessory. The big, and it's not like some tiny accessory like this. It's a massive type of accessory. But we're so used to seeing Elvira or Elvira, the Mistress of Darkness. Well, she's doing her rating of all these B movies, and she's doing her little comedy sketches and kind of giving like little one-line remarks about what they've just watched, during the breaks and whatnot. So, that couch is very synonymous with Elvira. Or a couple of videos ago, we looked at Vampira, who was basically the Elvira 2 decades prior. I don't recognize that poodle. I don't know what that's about, but Elvira. So again, this is another awesome looking figure that I would like to display loose. Luckily, it's got some light in there and a little bit of detail, brightness to a point where if I sit this on a shelf, you can still make it out pretty well. So far, I think American Werewolf in London is really the only one that's kind of like really dark on the inside, that it may not be as clearly seen from a distance. Saw, maybe. I think this one has a good lightness to it, a good brightness where you can actually make out the stuff inside. Alright, this movie. This is a movie I never saw as a kid. I want to say I was probably 18 years old the first time I ever saw this movie. And I was probably a high school senior. And I was at my girlfriend's house, which, of course, is currently my wife. Because my wife and I have been together since junior year of high school. And I really never cared. I never really cared to see the movie because it had nothing to do with the central character of the movie. So we are talking about Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Michael Myers was this huge, impactful character in the first 2 Halloween movies. And then, they kind of shoot him in the eyes and blow him up, and all of a sudden, he's dead, he's gone. And so you come out, but you want to continue the Halloween franchise. You've had 2 very successful movies, and then you come out with this 3rd Halloween movie that has absolutely nothing to do with Michael Myers. And it's kind of like the Goosebumps books / TV show. What was it called? I can't remember the mask name. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. But essentially, in Goosebumps, the girl, she goes to this haunted mask shop, buys a mask, and the mask eventually kind of becomes her actual skin. There's no opening to kind of lift the mask over her face and whatnot. And that's kind of like, I guess what happened in this movie. I say kind of because I know I saw it with my wife. Like, I was at our house, we were watching it, but I don't remember crap about it. I think if I went back and watched this movie again today, it would be like seeing it for the first time. I would have I have no remembrance of this movie whatsoever. So that just tells me, and I may have actually fallen asleep during it. So it just tells me that it was a very forgettable movie. Unless, if you're making a Halloween movie and you don't have Michael Myers in it, forget it. But, why do I need it? It's part of the line. Of course, I'm going to pick it up. The characters look, they're like little small doodads you put on like your fireplace mantle or some kind of small shelf or something. Kind of place setters or fillers. Not anything super fancy. Maybe you could use them during Halloween time for decoration or whatnot, but not the most important or necessary figures. But I think this package is, if you're looking for a bundle set, these other packages are going to cost you $40 plus. You could probably get this for under $20 or under $30. I think I got this for like $27 or whatnot. So a little bit more affordable when it comes to the Halloween 3-piece. Now, the last one we're going to look at is another very integral piece to the collection. It is one of the most important horror movies of all time. And, it's produced some of the longest running movie franchises as well. I think it had at least 5 movies, if I'm not mistaken. Part 2, I think, had... You know what? It may have had only 4 movies. I can't remember if there was a 5th. But anyways, we're talking about Jaws. Now, when you actually take this out of the package and you display these figures loose, and the way that you see the great white kind of jumping out and attempting to eat the character, that looks so freaking amazing. Here is, what that could look like if you chose to do it like so. Otherwise, you could just simply have him kind of jump out of the water at him. Not necessarily eating him, though. But either way you like it, man, it looks incredible. I love that look. I forget this character's name, but he, man, I can't remember any of the actors' names. But the cop and the scientist, he was the captain of his ship. And at the end, Jaws comes out, demolishes the ship, eats him before the police captain shot him, blew him up in the river or the ocean, whatever. What the heck is that guy's name? Now it's bothering me because that's an actor that whose name you should never forget, because he plays in one of the most important movies of the 1970s. I mean, 1978 Jaws. This movie terrified people so bad that nobody wanted to go swimming anymore. The remakes were never as good as the original. Some of them were so low budget, low quality. Dennis Quaid in Part 2. That's who I'm thinking of, I think. Yeah, Dennis Quaid. And the ending of the movie where you see the great white kind of swimming at... They're like this underground... I don't know what it was. Let's just call it an underground station, because I don't know how to describe it. And you kind of see this shark just slowly swimming towards the screen, and then all of a sudden everybody starts screaming like, "Oh, like how low budget looking is that shark, and how low quality is the acting in that particular moment?" Oh God. But Jaws all around was a brilliant movie. Well done, well acted. The movie's special effects were pretty incredible for a 1978 movie. And like I said, the action figure, man, whether you want him being eaten or not, either design looks absolutely incredible. Freaking Jaws. I think there are more box sets out there, more sets, but I don't know if I'm missing any. I thought I was, but now I think about it, I can't think of any that I've seen that are doing... yeah. I'm pretty sure there's more out there, but that's what I have thus far for the play sets. Yeah, that's going to complete this video, guys. That is it for the Neca Toony Terrors. Obviously, over time, if I acquire more and more of the NECAs to add to the collection, yeah, I'll do some follow-up videos here and there as needed, or I might just do a simple pickup video type of deal or something. But hopefully you guys really enjoyed this run of videos. I really enjoy making these videos back to back. To me, I think it's just more important to have them staged in back to back episodes as opposed to having these little breaks in between videos with different video content. So that was important that I get these all going back to back. Tomorrow's video, guys, I am going to be doing a review of the Brutus figure from Ram Treasures. Let's see if you guys like that one better than the original. And I'll do a full-on review with you guys. I've looked at the figure, but obviously I haven't really paid close attention to it because I want to have my genuine reaction when I'm on film with you guys. So until then, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and talk to you in the comments. Goodbye, everybody.